The BattleBit developers just released their largest update since launch. Included in it are new vehicles, weapon changes, barbed wire, and more. So starting off with barbed wire, it was added for engineers and support players. It looks like you can build it from the build menu, and when you walk through it, it slows you down and then deals damage to you as well. Not a lot, but I saw that if you walk through a fair amount, it'll do a fair amount of damage, and I'll have a video of this up posted on the screen. Next, they made an official Voxel game mode server, which is interesting because in multiple of the devcasts, they said that they didn't want to make an official Voxel game mode server because they figured that it would confuse players about what their main game mode was, stuff like that. I never really quite understood why they said that, but apparently they didn't either because they made an official game mode server. So you should be able to join this game mode from the server browser. It says that it's like a test mode, so I'm assuming they're testing it so that they can eventually release it for community servers. I don't know if it'll be there forever, so maybe get in there as fast as you can and make sure to join it while you can to test it out. Next, they made changes to CTF. They made it so that bringing the enemy flag to base will give more XP. That's good because it's a big deal to bring the flag all the way to your base. And I think like currently bringing the flag to the base only gave like 800 or something. It was really low. I mean, again, I think they should raise how much XP you get for planting the bomb or defusing it as well, just because it's way less than like what you get for domination or whatever. And domination's a lot easier than defusing or planting the bomb. So also to CTF, they made it so that killing the enemy flag carrier will also give an additional bonus XP. Good changes. I always like it when they give more XP. Unfortunately, in the coming changes to vehicles, they did the opposite. But okay, this is a change to vehicles. When players return to base to repair their vehicles, they will also be healed so the driver does not need to leave the vehicle, so someone won't take the vehicle while they're healing. This is a wonderful change. It's really annoying when you have a vehicle and you need to heal or bandage, but you can't because if you do that, then you'll have to leave the vehicle and then someone else is going to take your spot, especially when you're flying a helicopter, and it's hard to get those. People want to fly those, so that's good. Now to the enemy vehicle XP change. This change, I don't like at all, honestly. It may balance out with some changes down the line, but basically they reduced how much XP you get for vehicles, and they made it that enemies have to be inside of them for the most part. So for transport vehicles, this is like the Humvee, ATV, stuff like that. Now you'll only get 400 XP if you destroy it, and the enemy has to be inside. I understand about the ATV, but the Humvee was pretty hard to kill, and it's just gonna be so hard to get XP now from destroying vehicles, and they were a great source of XP right now, and it's hard enough to level up as it is. The APC will give 800 XP regardless of if the enemy is inside or not, so that's fine. Still way less though. You lose 1,000, that's like 5 kills of XP that you're not getting anymore. The tank is 1600 XP regardless if the enemy is inside or not, and the helicopter is also 1600 XP. And then boats are 400 XP, and it must have the enemy inside. Again, I'm not a fan of these changes. I don't like anything that reduces how much XP you're getting. I think that's going to make it a lot harder to level up. And yeah, it makes it feel like less worth it. Whenever I saw a vehicle, I always ran towards it to try to destroy it. Now it's going to be like, I don't know if it's really worth it or not. However, they did buff engineers. They will get 2.5 times XP for destroying vehicles. So big buff to engineers may actually make it worth it playing them, especially with the self-heal now. So they will get 1,000 XP for destroying transport vehicles, 2,000 XP for destroying APCs, 4,000 XP for destroying the tank, 4,000 XP for helicopters, and 1,000 for boats. Not bad. Again, that's a pretty big buff to engineers. I will be interested to see if a lot more people play them now. They made some changes to C4. Destroying enemy C4/mine/claymore will now give a hit marker and additional XP. I wonder how much XP that'll give. That could be a good farm, possibly. When a player shoots a mine or C4 or claymore, the shooter will take ownership of the explosion if they own the mine C4, as if they own the mine C4 or claymore. Previously, the ownership remained with the person who deployed the mine. That's still allowed for team killing, so great change there. It's pretty annoying when you put down a claymore and one of your teammates shoots it and it makes it so they kills you. So wonderful change. They added an assault boat, the RCB-90. I'll have a picture of it up on the screen. Looks really cool. They said, I think it has the same guns as the Humvee or whatever. So great changes there. Love to see new vehicles and all that, though I don't really play water maps that much, so I don't know. Assault got its own ranger armor instead of reusing the medic armor, so it sounds like it has ranger armor now, which gives the 2 extra magazines, but also it'll probably have its own look to it. So great change there. Very cool. He did say that the community server API base is finished as well. And that comes to the end of the changes that I haven't covered yet. I'm going to recover stuff that I said in my previous video in case you haven't seen it. But those are the changes. If you have already seen my last video, that you can end your video here if you want to. But we'll do a quick recap. Basically, they said after a long discussion, it's apparent that the medic is the only class capable of enduring more than one fight. Other classes cannot survive a second fight after being shot because, they can't heal unless they have a pocket medic, making other classes very unpleasant to use. Based on this point, players that are not medic will now be able to use a bandage to heal themselves regardless of bleeding, gaining plus 40 HP each time a bandage is used. It is up to the player to decide whether to use it for healing or to stop the bleeding. If you stop the bleeding, you also heal the 40 HP though, just so you know. So you cannot heal other players by bandaging, but you can still stop bleeding or revive other players with your bandages. So great changes here. Really makes all of the other classes way more viable, especially with the Engineer XP buff to vehicles. I might try out Engineer. It might be really fun. I know I get killed by RPGs all the time. They're pretty cancer, but it should be a ton of fun, and I'm excited to try other classes because up until this point, I pretty much only played Medic and Recon, which I think that's the majority of what other players have played as well. So it's wonderful that they're listening to player feedback and making changes based on it. They actually did buff the Assault class a little bit as well. They made it able to use new weapons, specifically the Honey Badger Groza, P90, ASVAL, MK20, M110, Mark 14, and the SVD. I think that the Assault class with either the Groza or the P90 is going to be pretty busted, especially now that the Vector is getting nerfed. I'm excited to try the P90. If you didn't know, the Assault class has a quicker reload than all the other classes, and now that it's able to heal, I mean the P90 is going to be busted probably, so I can't wait to try the Assault class with that. Once I unlock the P90, it's still not unlocked because leveling up is such a pain. This is a huge change. Aim, punch, and flinch will exponentially scale down based on damage received instead of a pistol on leg and sniper on chest, giving the same aim, punch / flinch. So before, this meant that, SMGs just gave insane aim punch because they were shooting so many bullets. Their fire rate's so high that it was basically impossible to ever contest an SMG if they got their first shot on you. Now, because they do less damage, this will make it so that they have less aim punch. Hopefully it's a big enough reduction, I don't know. But it'll make it so that you can actually fight back, especially if you're using like one of the DMRs or something. It was just impossible to ever shoot them if they were already shooting you. So hopefully the sniper gives a lot of aim punch. I mean, I wouldn't even be opposed to it like stopping someone from running or something like that. So we'll see. I don't know how big it is, but great changes there. Big nerfs to the SMGs as well, which is a thing that a lot of people have been asking for. Speaking of nerfs to SMGs, the Chris Vector's reign hopefully is close to over, though I heard that it'll probably still be okay. The Chris's Vector damage was adjusted to 22 from 24, so less damage. Can't kill people in as many shots now. I think it'll take one more shot to kill people. The damage drop-off also now starts at 10 meters instead of 50. That's a huge change. Most engagements take place at less than 50 meters generally, so starting at 10 meters is pretty crazy. So I don't know how the Vector is going to feel after this, but it'll probably feel pretty nerfed. And then also the standard and quick magazine now holds 36 bullets down from 40, so you won't be able to kill as many people. However, generally I usually use the 60 round magazine anyways, so that doesn't really affect me. It'll just affect people trying to level up the gun. So the medic got nerfed even more. We'll have 3 C4s instead of the base 4, but however, the normal backpack will still add 2 if you so choose. I think this is just another nerf to honestly destroying vehicles as well. It makes it even less worth. I think running C4 is still worth it because it allows you to destroy enemy claymores and mines and stuff like that. But interesting changes there. I don't know quite how I feel about that. I'm not sure the medic needed that much of a nerf. The ACR has been changed slightly. Its aim down time speed was buffed from 0.25 seconds to 0.21 seconds. ACR player running speed was buffed from 1.01 to 1.05. The ACR control was reduced from 100 to 105%. And the ACR damage was increased from 25 to 27. All around nice little buffs to the ACR. I've heard that this gun's pretty bad. Personally, I haven't unlocked it yet because it's just too high of a level and I don't have that much time. But sounds good to me. The AK-5C's damage was increased from 30 to 34, bringing it up to, I think, Groza levels. So pretty big damage increase, actually. That brings it, it would be 4 shots to kill. If you're going no headshots, now it'll be 3 shots to kill. So that's a pretty big change. Its vertical recoil was increased and its horizontal was increased both from 1.2 to 1.4, and then vertical recoil was increased from 1.4 to 1.6. However, its first shot recoil was reduced from 1.5 to 1.0. So big changes there, honestly. It'll do a lot. I think overall it'll feel like it has less recoil because that first shot recoil is just crazy high. Its reload speed was also increased by 12.5%. So the AK-5C might be really good. I'll have to try it out for sure. The SG550 got a buff. The muzzle flash size was reduced from 100 to 85. Honestly, I didn't have any trouble with the SG550's muzzle flash. It felt pretty good, honestly, but I know a lot of people were complaining about it, especially on Reddit. Reddit is full of complainers, and so great changes there. No complaints. I think that a buff to it's not bad, especially because it's sort of a pea shooter. It only does about 27 damage. So the APC will now take 2 times damage from the back now. It does make a different sound when you hit it with like an RPG from the back, and 2 times damage hopefully makes it so that you can, destroy it a lot quicker now. They also said this is a pretty big change, that progression will ease after level 15 to keep consistent time to level up. Now, I don't know exactly what this means. Hopefully it's a lot of easing and not just a little, especially with the nerfs to vehicle XP. We'll just have to see once we're in game. The game will no longer auto-lock squads when party members reserves a squad for their party to join. Instead, a non-party member will be forced to change their squad with their role if the reserve party squad is full while a party member is joining the server. Thank goodness they got rid of squad auto-locking. Most annoying feature in the game, made it impossible to join any of the squads in the game. So wonderful changes there. Thank goodness. So that comes to the end of this update. Absolutely huge. Lots of wonderful changes. A couple that I don't quite agree with, but I can understand. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell to catch all my future content. I will keep you up to date on all the updates, and I'll try to keep the guides coming, but I've been having trouble thinking of new guides to make. So if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. You're an absolute beast if you made it this far. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks to my channel members, Jed, Professor, and Hastrel. I really appreciate y'all for bankrolling my videos, and good luck to everyone in their battles this week. If you noticed it, I have a new mic. I don't know if you'll have noticed, but if you did, let me know in the comments below, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time, and good luck in your battles this week.